Let's take you now to Mushaga area in Ruaka, where NTV's Leillah Mohammed is. Leillah, we believe that the area that is Mushaga is where the suspects have been living and perhaps planning this attack in the lead up to the Riverside Drive siege attack, rather.
Indeed, Mark and Smriti, I can bring you up to speed with what we do know at this hour. We know from our engagements with the residents that this gentleman, only identified by one name, that is Farouk, and his wife, they say it was a young couple. They were able to secure a house here in March 2018, and they have been living within this gated community for a while now. Those who know them say they were a very cheerful couple. They engaged with people gracefully, and they were able to tip the security personnel at the main entrance once in a while, and they were very cordial people, according to what we have been able to listen into to some of the conversations by many of the residents who we've been able to speak to. Most of them are telling us they don't want to speak on camera, but then again, there is one individual who will be able to share with you some of his sentiments later in this broadcast. But before then, let me just give you a sneak peek into the room number E09, which is a point of interest by security personnel. They have been here since 7:30 p.m. last evening. If I can be able to count the numbers, this is E02. E09 is that particular house up the hill where we have a red line across the roofing. And if my cameraman can be able to show you much clearly at the main gate, I don't know if that is a rock or something of a metal thing. That is exactly the house that is under investigation by security personnel here. What we've been able to gather so far is that officers from the flying squad, the DCI, and as well as the key police stations within this area have been here since yesterday. It has been cordoned off. The yellow tape is as far as anyone can go unless you are a resident of this particular entity and you want to access your home, or you're a police officer who's coming in for investigations. Nobody is being allowed past that yellow line. But what we've been expecting since morning is the criminal scene investigators, the crime scene investigators, to come here and just do their bit. But until now, this is something in the afternoon. We have not been able to see them, but we are aware there was enough activity here last evening. A number of police officers were here. We are aware that some material was removed from the house. According to our conversations with some of the residents, they tell us 2 women could have been picked up from that particular house in that raid that evening, as well as much more that could have happened late into the evening. This conversation having been picked up by some of the community members living within here in their WhatsApp group, and they were able to identify one of the vehicles that was at the Riverside Drive and had been detonated by officers from the bomb squad. And they were like, we hope the individual who owns this particular registration number is safe. What they did not know is that it was a car of interest and was among those that are being sought by the police officers as part of those that were used by the perpetrators of what happened at the Riverside Drive the whole of last evening and last night, which the president has officially declared to have been finished. So, Mark, what we're waiting for is just the forensic officers to get here and be able to give us enough information. If we will get access to that home, then we'll be able to bring you those pictures in our subsequent bulletins or live if we're able to do so. But as of now, we've been here for the last few hours waiting patiently for anything to happen. The officers have been gracious enough just to indulge us, but they are on strict orders not to allow anyone to get into that facility. But we are aware this is what probably CS Matiang'i was saying, the second phase of this whole entire activity of the investigations beginning now. Maybe we'll be looking into DNA samples and fingerprints just to identify exactly who are these people. But from our interrogations of the residents here, they say it was a young man and a woman, a young couple. The lady used to dress in a particular style, but the gentleman was very cordial. One of the residents earlier told us that once she was stranded along this area and was able to carry her along the road using that particular vehicle. So there's a lot of information that is coming in that we need to sieve, but the most important will be to get official information from the police officers, which is not coming in as we had expected. But we will be here waiting for any eventuality that will occur, and we'll be able to bring that to you as soon as we get here. But before I leave you, we will leave you with sentiments from one of the residents who was brave enough to talk to us and just give us a brief description of this individual.
Mwenye kununua hii nyumba ambaye namba 9 ambaye huyo terrorist alikuwa naishi, alikuwa amekondisha for the last 3 months. Na kwa vile ni nyumba kubwa, labda hakukuwa naishi peke yake, lakini wale wanaweza kudhibitisha hivyo ni kama security guards ambao walikuwa wanamuona akiondoka asubuhi na akirudi jioni. Lakini shughuli zake yeye alikuwa anakuja tu kwa nyumba yake, anaingia alafu anatoka. Hakukuwa na shughulika sana na wenyeji wa hapa. Na hata hakuna mtu alikuwa anajua ile kazi anafanya. Alikuwa anakuja tu, anaingia kwa nyumba yake, alafu asubuhi anaondoka na rudi jioni.